Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, coming at you to tell you a little piece of my mind. And you know what? Hey, we got a couple of more months, maybe even 3 or 4 until July. And you know what? We are going to go for this Board of Education in Frederick County. I need your support more than anything. I got a link on the very bottom, and it's going to help us with financial support. But as soon as my website comes up, and it's coming up soon, I'm going to need your help in every way. With everything going on in our society, I'm just put on my heart to make sure that I get into that office. Now, I don't want to have a seat there just to have one. I want to do something. So everybody kept asking me, what's your slogan? You got to have a slogan. And so I kept trying to figure out, what do I want to do with a slogan that's going to represent everything that I desire and everything that I like. And so I wanted to take this back to the old Texas style. Now, I'm from Texas, born and raised, but now I live in Maryland, and I love Maryland to the day that I die. It will always have a piece of my heart. And so, since I'm here and my kids are going to school, I wanted to make sure that I gave all that I could to Maryland. So, this is the deal. I grew up as a no child left behind. And there was a lot of issues with No Child Left Behind. A lot of people had problems with the standardized testing. There was funding issues. But I grew up with the Bushes that were in the governor, and then they ended up being president. So majority of my school days, No Child Left Behind was one of those things that just resonated in the United States. But now we're in 2022. I believe that no child should ever be left behind. But now, I think the way that I see the world going and what's going on right now is that it needs to be no family needs to be left behind. So that's the reason why I said everybody needs to be accounted. Whenever we look at what are the problems in our society, we can't just look at it just as the child, as a student. No family unaccounted is a way that I want to say that we are going to look at every child and its parents, whether the parents is a single mother, whether it's a single father, whether grandparents are raising it. We need to make sure that we keep our eye on all of the issues that stem from the problems that we see in our public school system. Now let's talk about teachers. Teachers is just, it's not just about teachers. Teachers are overworked, teachers are underpaid, and some of them are undertrained. We need to make sure that we do what we can to help them out. Now, this is the major thing with that, is that those teachers have to go home to their family. If they are stressed out at school, you know some of them are taking it home. And we know that their family is feeling the brunt of that also. And so, whenever I say no family unaccounted for, we are going to definitely look at the children, their families, the teachers, their families, administration, and their families. And we're going to solve some of the problems. We can't just always say that this is a children's problem, because the children are being affected by the way that we deal with our stress, mental health, substance abuse. If they have a problem, we're going to look at it. Respect in the classroom. We got to bring back the respect. Now, I always told you I grew up in Texas. Texas ran their schools. Students didn't run their schools, parents didn't run it, but they ran it in a way that let everybody know that we are going to give it our best shot to make it happen. And this is what I want to bring into the Maryland, into Frederick, is a place that we can say we did everything in our ability. I know that the budget is small and that we have it stretched as thin as it can be, but we got to reallocate money. We have to look at some of the things that are happening with special education. Get these teachers trained. If paraprofessionals are going to be there, train them too. Substitutes, train them also. And then if we have a substitute that's going to be special education and they're trained, why not get them more money? We have to make sure that our money is going to not just warm bodies. We have to make sure that they are giving the kids the opportunities in their teaching. Those teachers that are in reading and math, you guys have it very hard, especially when it comes to standardized testing. Everybody's looking at you. So what do? They give it their best. They give it their all. But we have to make sure that we give them everything that we can do and every resource that we have to make sure that the programming is excellent. No more running behind children and just trying to grab them or put them in a box or put them in a closet. We're not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that they do it correctly, that we make those children feel special. Even if they have behavioral issues, we're going to come in and we're going to look at how do we make the classroom more respectable? How do we bring respect into that building that every student has to be in? That's what we're going to do. When you guys vote for me, you are definitely going to bring someone to the table who's been a behavioral specialist, that is a therapist. And I'm going to be looking at the mental health of these children. I'm going to be looking at the mental health of the staff and even administration. Because if the rules and the policies are not helping, there's a big disconnect. And I think a lot of parents feel disconnected when they sit in the IEPs. They don't feel like they're getting the best that they possibly can. Some of them don't really understand what's going on. So as a school, we need to make sure that we are doing their best, doing our best to give that parent as much support as they possibly can. Knowledge, we have to give them knowledge also, not just beat them up and say it's your fault. We have to support them. But parents, I need you to come behind us, because I'm going to tell you this, and this is what I've learned, that no matter what a school does, if the parents don't come right behind and make sure that that child is being respectful, then nothing else will work. Nothing that a teacher will say, nothing that administration will say that will change that kid's life if they, when they go home, they don't get that same level of intensity that the parents say, I believe in a respectful classroom and I'm going to do my best to make it happen also. People, we know that this has not been working all the way. Frederick County Public Schools has some really good things going on with it. But I think that we need to bring some accountability to the table. That's what I'm hearing, is that there is no accountability, that parents feel like they are not being heard. We got to change that. And that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to bring accountability, really good oversight, and make sure that everybody's doing exactly what they're supposed to do. No one's just drawing a check just to sit in the room as a warm body, but everybody is all hands on. It takes a village to raise a child. And if we don't get that village mentality and everybody's just out on the island, people get burnt out. And when teachers get burnt out, what happens is the kids suffer. This is the reason why my slogan says, no family unaccounted. We are going to make sure that we bring something to the table that makes these teachers, these students, and administration feel like we're all working on the same page. This is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor. Always subscribe. Love to hear from you. Bye.